Hello and good evening. Welcome back to another Vector 3D live stream as we carry on with the Voron 2.4 said printer beside me. Before we get started, I have to let you know this stream is sponsored. This video would not have been possible without our sponsors Filafarm and Big Tree Tech, so a big thank you to them for supporting Vector 3D. You can find out more by just watching some more, or you can follow the links in the video description. Wonderful, thank you sponsors. So yes, we are carrying on with the Voron 2.4. Still lots of wiring to do really. Maybe not too much. Last time we covered a lot of the mains wiring, we got that all out of the way. We talked a little bit about those things. I messed up the bed wiring, but we'll find a way. I don't think I'm going to use the connector. I'm just going to wire the bed straight in. I put it on and did a bit of a lifting test. I was like, it's not that heavy. I've got much heavier printers, so I'm not going to be too worried about the weight. I just won't disconnect it, not a problem. And we've got to do the thermal fuse and all that kind of stuff as well. So yes, welcome back everyone, and good to see you all. Hello, 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 hello to everyone who said hello. Yep, correct sponsor message this time. Important to get that one right. Let's just pretend that the previous one was never... Anyway, so yes. I guess we'll just get stuck in. I mean, don't think we need much preamble today. One thing I want to do actually right away. Normally have old Lazy Susan up here, don't I? I'm going to get old Lazy Susan back. Where is she? Although actually the Lazy Susan was quite annoying actually, wasn't it, last time, because it was all rotating out of the way. Oh well, we're going to carry on using it. I find it's best to not learn from your mistakes and just repeat them again and again. So, this is where we're at. It's weird having this like big old empty space all the way up here, but anyway, it's looking rather good, I think. Let's switch to this other camera. I think we can see everything a little bit better. So we've got mains all sorted where it's coming in. We mounted all the Wago terminals, link for that part in the description. That's going into the power supply over here, and we've taken out some of that wiring over to the board. We've also, from the Wago terminals, powered this, which is the 5-volt power supply for said Raspberry Pi over here. So, one thing I do want to try, it was suggested by Still Fabric in the comments of the previous stream that I try a USB cable, a USB-C cable for powering the Pi. Now, in traditional USB Type A cables, there's just 4 wires and they're kind of easy to deal with. Like, I think it's red, black, white and green. USB-C, I know it's got more thingies in the thingy. Don't know exactly what it has and what it doesn't have. Don't know what the capability of this precise one is. I just found it on my desk. Don't know what it's for. Don't know where it came from. So I'm just going to cut the end off and hope for the best. I'm hoping we'll just have a black and red in here, and that will come out to here, and then we can use the actual circuitry on the Raspberry Pi that is designed for managing the power input rather than bypassing it on the GPIO pins. So that would go in there. It's a little bit tight for space, but hopefully, yeah, I mean, that's a big downside. But I mean, I do have this 90-degree one I was going to use for this, and it's got braiding and everything on it, so it was a bit more expensive. I don't really want to chop into it on the off chance that it's not appropriate. Oh, I've got the original Big Tree Tech one. I might just use that. Forget this white one. Oh, that can go back to its original home. This one came with the Big Tree Tech Octopus. So, again, don't know what I'm going to find inside, but I'm going to have a look. So, never opened a USB-C cable before. Let's have a look what's inside. So we need to make sure we keep this end wire all the way along and cut off this end. Let's find out what's inside. I mean, I probably could have just Googled this and we'd found out, but I think we're in luck. It looks basically the same as what I was expecting to find from a traditional USB cable. Red, green, white and black. So they're very, very thin conductors, which is mildly concerning. Hopefully we don't get too much voltage drop. But this is definitely the right thing. This is definitely what I'm after. So let's rotate this out the way briefly. Last night I got my 2.4 build done. Congratulations. And another person just sourced all my parts. Hopefully I can start assembling my 2.4 this weekend. Amazing to hear. And Lars has ordered the Wagos for his 2.4. Presumably that's a he. Excellent. So yes, this is USB 2 type wiring, as Lars says, rather than anything fancy. So the other theory behind that, or the problem with that, is that we would normally, with USB 2 style, be limited to 500 milliamps. I know that was the rating for normal USB connections. Now we want this to carry 3 or 4 amps, which is 8 times 500 milliamps. These are really quite thin wires, so that does concern me somewhat. Difficult. Maybe this is not a great idea after all. Who knows? I mean, I could check. We basically want to know the current rating for this size conductor. I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head. Looking at it now, I'm feeling that this is not going to be appropriate. But I kind of want to try it. I think I'm going to give it a go, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll hopefully be able to power it on and give it a test before it's too late. And we'll be able to feel if the wire's getting warm or not. If it's getting warm or hot or even melts, then we know it's not appropriate. And then we can change it out for a different solution. So obviously being careful. I'm not going to put any terminals on these because I don't have anything appropriate for a screw terminal and a small enough wire, which is not ideal again, but especially for when we're going to be dealing with a few amps. Oh, sorry. Terrible camera angles as usual. So for the positive side, just kind of going to hook the wire around the screw terminal so we get plenty of conductor contact. Oh, it's a daisy, I've screwed the My spidey senses are tingling. I've got a strong feeling this is not going to be appropriate. It just doesn't seem right, does it? USB-C connectors and then solder thick wires. I think you're going to struggle with that unless you've done it already, because USB-C connectors are really tiny, aren't they? To be able to solder thick wires to. Might be wrong. Oops, daisy. Let's get that on this side. So I'm going to run this under here. So that's all wired under, over, under, through here, over to here. So it feels wrong. I'm really like, instinct telling me that's not going to be appropriate. But I'm going to leave it for now. I don't think it's going to be lethally dangerous, so I'm willing to give it a shot. I don't know how much power the Pi will draw if it's not got anything to do. Ones with PCB and solder pads. Ah, that's clever. I might have to take a note of that. Yeah, that does sound like a very good way then, because then you can get an appropriate size wire to deal with it rather than the very skinny little conductors that, that I've used here. So next wiring is, what do we want to do? I've got this link that I've used in the description actually to, I've got a little wiring diagram of the Big Tree Tech Octopus, because we've got to make sure we get all those wires in the correct places. I mean, obviously you can change the configuration file to put things in places that you want to, and I may end up doing that anyway, but at the moment, I think, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably just going to be easier to try and follow something that already exists and is known good configuration. USB-C cable should be good to charge up to 3 amps. The Raspberry Pi 4 is well under that. The way you're connecting it is one of the recommended methods from Big Tree and Voron team. Interesting. And it might have to do some current testing on the Pi at some point, because I swear I've seen specifications that say 3 to 4 amps for the Pi. So. And while this has a USB-C connector on the end, it doesn't necessarily mean it's capable of the full capability of the USB-C standard, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know what the limiting factor is in the 500 milliamps, whether it was a computer factor or what. So, you know, lots of reasons why it could be different. Okay, so the GitHub link for the Big Tree Tech Octopus is in the description. There's an image in the README section. It's also linked to one of the other images called wiring. And from there, it's going to tell me where I need to plug all the things in. So wiring harness is what we're going to be dealing with to begin with. Now, while I could make the wires shorter to make them like the perfect length, I'm not going to. It's going to mean the wiring in general is a little bit messier than I would like, but I also don't want to re-terminate every one of these cables just so it looks a little bit tidier, because honestly, I don't care that much. So, what is useful though, because this harness is from Lineo, they do provide a little sticker. You could stick it in here, that probably would be quite useful, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use it as a reference now so I can know all the letters and what's its mean that they've added in. So we have, oh, it's all just a bit tangly mess. So this looks like stepper motor, AM. So the AM is the A motor, which is sort of like XY. AB is like XY. So that's closest here. So that one goes in here. Let's go under. Where do we want to go? Could kind of go behind the board. That's probably the tidiest route. If we can find B as well, that I think is going to go next to it. That's E0. Oh, is this going to be the... That's B. B for some reason is like an extra foot longer. The other ends, by the way, are already plugged into everything. Those are pre-done, so... That's quite good actually, because it's just kind of stashed the remaining length under the PCB. And I can't actually see chat now. Yeah, still apronless today. I just can't deal with the heat, it's too much. I'm seeing tests of 640 milliamps on a Pi 4 streaming 1080p. Well, that's a lot less than I was expecting, considering how hot it gets. CT is the chamber thermistor. So chamber thermistor, I believe, is actually like on the PCB of the afterburner thingy, isn't it? So where does it expect that to come? Hot end, heated bed. I'm going to guess the next one along. So we've got heated bed, then hot end, and so I'm going to put it in the third one along. Now, the wiring harness is a little bit weird. So you'll notice that that's just a single wire, but you need power and this in order for it to work. So why is there only one? Well, the harness with the PCB is set up so that you supply 24 volts directly to the PCB, and that kind of is your positive power, and everything is switched like on and off and sensed via the negative cable. So you apply positive to like everything the same, and then the different negatives allow it to switch on and off. That's probably a really bad explanation, but that's kind of what's going on. So everything kind of has fewer cables than you might expect. So HF, heater fan. Heater fan. What's a heater fan? Is that cold end fan? That's probably cold end fan. Yeah, because it's not part cooling fan. So we've got print cooling, no, hot end fan, the second fan. So this is a fan bank. So we got this one down here going in the second space. Bosh. Next one is PF, which is part cooling fan. Part cooling fan is the first fan. BL, presumably built up, bed leveling probe. Bed leveling probe, where's bed leveling probe? To probe. I'm guessing we're going in here. I think we can use a zip tie or something for those. Then E0. So the actual is X, Y, Z. And then a gap. Well, X, Y, Z, gap, because this one delivers to both of those. And then Z1, 2, 3. And then extruder. So E0 is right up that corner. Please say it's going to reach. It's right on the limit. Perfect. T0 and AG both together. Thermistor naught. What's AG then? Why is it? I don't know. Well, T0 is definitely thermistor for the hot end, which is this one here. Whoops. Then we have X and Y end stops. Now, these are coloured, so presumably they're going to match the colour coding on the end stop switch itself, which is down here. It looks like red is with blue, yeah. And that looks closest to this one, which is X. So I'm assuming red, blue is X. So we'll go red, blue, then black, green. Red, blue here, black, green right behind it. I don't know why they're labelled together. I suppose it doesn't really matter too much, but there you go. And then we've got H0, which is going to be for the heater. And that's going to come into one of these. Hot end heater, the first one. Negative terminal, so this one just here. There we go, a little bit messy, not too bad. I think we could be a lot worse. Obviously that's not all the wires, we've still got some motors to do, especially Z, and we've got another end stop thing. So. Because this stop down here, this PCB, doesn't have a thing on the harness. We have to make our own little cable for that one. Unless I've wired something incorrectly. Hopefully not. So this wire, I think I actually want to come up behind here and come in this side because I want to keep it away from all the high voltage stuff as I did before. That's going to really be difficult now. No. Where'd it go? Here. So let's pokey this down under here. These are a little bit close, but that should be okay. Oh, man, my camera work today is horrible. I do apologise. Oh. Wiring's one of those things I'm just like, I want to get out of the way. I do actually have spare terminals there in my Wago, so I could have used that, but in this instance I'm going to go direct to the power supply. So there we go, that's that sorted. Right, Z motors. So the motors that I purchased or own, can't remember if I paid for them or not. They are, yeah, I think I did. So they all came with their cables. They're not any specific length, like they're super long, but they do look like they have the right connector on. So what I'm going to do is wire these up and then route them somehow around the chassis and bundle them together in a way that's hopefully going to work. And of course, you do need to keep track of which cable is which, because for purposes of the gantry leveling, it's important to know which motor is on which corner. It's going to be the messiest wiring job ever. So this motor for me is back left. So back left is Z1, so that's the one here. And you can see there's quite a bit left over. So what I want to do is just kind of securely bundle it where I can zip tie and maybe tuck it behind the board as well. Maybe like that. A little bit messy, but what can you do? Well, I could cut it and re-crimp it, but there you go. Oh, it's determined to be seen. Never mind. Next one. So this one's back left, so this one at the top is going to be front left. It's coming directly across, so this is really short, which makes our cable super duper long, relatively. And that Z is going in here. Oh. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I did try and explain the whole one wire situation, but I guess I didn't explain it very well. This is not very tidy at all. I'll just tuck them behind the board and hope nobody notices. I wish, yeah, cable management. This one is super duper short, so this is going to be the front right, and that's going here. Yes, so that's literally 3 centimeters. So zip tie that one before it even gets on there. In fact, could we do... No, I think that's going to be best. So just a bundle with the two terminals connectors rather sticking out. So we've got the 6-pin going into the motor and the 4-pin going into the control board. Oh, come on. Like so. And tidy, yeah. I feel like it's going to cause problems having all of these cables bundled up against each other. For the final motor, and starting down here. So I want this under this cable, I think. Oh shoot, have I done that way too short? Where are we going? We're going here. I've done that far too short. It's okay. We're making it. Perfect. Tidy wiring. Such tidy. You did miss the pie part. I discussed it for about 10 minutes with myself. We're going with it. Your idea is fantastic. Hopefully. It's just a suspicion over whether USB-C cables that can take higher currents are thicker conductors, or if the 500 milliamp limit on USB 2 style things is going to be a factor. That was generally what the discussion was. Hopefully it's going to be fine. I'm going to try it and we'll find out if it gets a bit hot. Have I wired everything? No, I haven't. Right. We need to do this cheeky little sensor down here. So this thing with the little PCB. Thing is, you're absolutely right about making custom cables. It's definitely the better thing to do. If you have the time to do it, I would definitely suggest you do. I might even do it after this build series and live stuff's all done, just because for my own sanity. But you know, I also might not, because I'll probably have another project to start work on. Definitely not complaining about that, by the way. That was not a complaint. That was a looking forward to another project. Not that this one's not good. I'm digging myself a hole now. So we have some of this black, I don't know how you pronounce this wiring. It's like it's like the slippery wiring. So I think I can probably use that for what I need. We've got a JST connector, which is what that is. I think it's 2.5mm pitch, and it's black as well, so it'll blend in nicely. Black that, black that. It's got a connection to the board as well, that's also JST, so we'll need another JST for that. And then we need some tiny little joystick terminals, which we've got there. So hopefully this wiring is going to be appropriate. I don't know why it's included in the kit. It may be for this exact thing. Maybe for another reason. Either way, it's there, so I'm going to use it. I do have some more, so if it ends up being needed for something else, we've still got that. How long do I want it? Damn and blast. To check before I turn it all around. There are no high currents if you do not connect external hard drives. Is that what that 4 amp current limit thing is on the Pi? It's because you might have an external hard drive. Why would you Okay, sounds like we're going to be absolutely fine then. Oops, oops, oh, everything's falling apart. That's just come out somewhere. Oh, we're upside down. Okay. So this is Z Endstop, so it's going to this location here. I want to poke it through here. Come on, poke it through here. Pokey. So that's going to that connector there. That's going to come through here, down here, over here to here. So somewhere around that length, with a little bit extra for good luck. Do 2 of those. Doop, 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 doop. Cable management is useless really, unless you go to social media to flex how you've done it. I mean, I tried to do a decent job, but no one is ever going to see my PC, so it's not worth wasting time on. I mean, you say going to social media. I mean, I'm literally there right now. Literally, my entire build is on social media, technically. I would count YouTube as social media. It's not Facebook, Instagram, I know, but I think still technically counts. I reckon once the stream is over, the nasty people come along and they'll go, "Oh my goodness, your cable management is rubbish. You should just give up." I think that's how it should go. Something like that. Oh, camera's all over the place. Where's me? There it is. Yep. I think the good reason to do it poorly is so that other people that are going to do it don't feel bad about not spending 10 hours making it look beautiful. This is the build for every man, not for some man. I mean, it's quite expensive, so it's not for everyone. But you know what I mean, hopefully, kind of, a bit. Sod off with your cable management comments. Oh dear. What is the last clip on the Wago with the red wires unlatched? But I'm joining late. But is the last clip on the Wago with the red wires unlatched? This one here? It does look like it, doesn't it? So there's quite a lot of slack in these. Like they move quite a lot without any force. That's just general wiggle room, and then they take quite a bit of force to actually fully open. And then they clip closed. But yeah, they do wiggle quite a lot. They should be genuine Wagos though, so presumably that's normal-ish. Right. I kind of want to twist these into a, not that they need it, but it's just going to be easier to route the cable if I twist the wires together, I think. And it shouldn't harm them really, so. A while back I actually did a 4 braid plait thing on my stepper motor wires. It looked so good. But it took a lot of time and was probably not worth it. Is the wire loose in the Wago? No, so this movement is definitely not moving any of the latch underneath. Like that's the force where it's latching stuff. This is just natural slop. Like it's not affecting the actual clamping at all. The difficult thing is making sure, does it matter? Oh, what a pain. Which one goes to which? Doesn't matter. Does it matter? No. Yes? It's a switch. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a switch. This is the downside of using cables of only one colour. It's difficult to track exactly what is what. Right, there we go. That's hopefully going to fit absolutely perfectly. The reality is it might not fit at all, but we'll deal with that. Oh no, let's go down from the top, I think. That might be easier. That's weird. Oh, there it is. Oh, was it not? Connector's too wide to go through. goes up here, into this up here. Then hopefully that should be just long enough to go behind this, over here, and I've used the wrong connector on the end. Needs a 3-pin. Don't know which of those 3 pins I should be wiring. Was there a question there about Voron versus rat rig? I'm not sure. I mean, it's quite a lot of effort to build the Voron. You'd end up spending a lot of money paying someone to build it for you. So, not sure what's supposed to go where for this switch, so hopefully it doesn't matter. Right. I've just remembered I've not done the grinding on that. Make a note of that. The grinding the shaft away so it does the clicky without doing the fully outy. Okie dokie. What else do we need to do? Z Endstop, done that. Bed wiring, pi power we've done, Z motor wires we've done. LEDs I don't have yet, got none of that, so that's just going to be a nothing for now. I've not even purchased LED strip or anything. I looked at the LED, excuse me, getting a little bit of wind. I looked at the LED mods on the Voron mods page and they didn't seem overly fantastic. I mean, maybe that's just because they're not presented as well as they could be. Maybe they're better than they look, if that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to redesign the wheel, as it were, if there's a good lights mod already, but nothing looked particularly amazing. You need some background techno music. It's too quiet. Well, yeah, I've tried having some music in the background before, but it just ends up being either too loud or too quiet or just not the right levels. I really want some music my end because it is a bit quiet, but I can just talk and mutter and blah, 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 blah the whole time. LED mount from Eddie. Huh. Is that LED mount using like glue-on strips? Because I really don't want to use those. Anything that has adhesive back is just guaranteed to fail. Well, from my experience anyway. It's just a matter of time. So the other thing in here was bed wiring and bed surface. So we do need to do the bed surface. Now is probably a good time to do a quick sponsor segment. This live stream would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filafarm and Big Tree Tech. Filafarm are a 3D printing bed specialist based in Germany. Filaprint is their high-performance, durable print surface designed to grip parts tightly when hot, but release them when cold. Their switch system utilises a strong magnetic sticker and 0.6mm spring steel to allow for easy swapping of bed surfaces. The bed plates offered are made from cast aluminium plate and are extremely flat, helping you get the best adhesion across the whole first layer. All of this can be made to standard sizes or customised upon request. Keep on watching to find out more, or follow the links in the video description. The Big Tree Tech Octopus is a 32-bit control board with loads of connectivity options for performance 3D printers like the Voron 2.4 and RapRig V-Core 3. It can connect up to 8 stepper drivers, 8 fans, 6 end stops, 5 thermistors, 4 heaters plus BL Touch, RGB LEDs, a TFT screen, USB-C and more. Pairing the Octopus with TMC 2209 stepper motor drivers allows for quiet operation using Stealth Chop, performance using Spread Cycle and Stool Guard for sensorless homing. Big Tree Tech also offer a mini 12864 display, which is ideal for the Voron 2.4 design. Check the links in the description to find out more. Okie dokie, so I've just gathered a bunch of bits because we're going to do the bed surface, because I think I need to do it before I carry on with any more wiring, because bed wiring needs to be done, and to do bed wiring, because I'm going to be wiring it in, I'd like to get it completely assembled. So this is what we're dealing with. I mounted that so squiff, I'm mildly embarrassed about that. Magnet's what we want to do first. And it's like exactly the right size, so we've got to be really careful. And despite being really careful last time, I still messed it up. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Doesn't matter how careful you are, you'll still find a way to make a mess of it. Let's get some gloves on. You could fire up the RapRig like in one stream. The noise was soothing. Oh, just to have some background noise, even if it's annoying noise. Because it sounds like something's going on. I know what you mean. Got an itchy nose. Sorry, didn't need to know that. Let's give it a clean first. Right. Still feels pretty dirty, but we've got a lot off, so I don't know how much better we're going to get. It's actually still rather dirty. now. Okay, it's not going to be perfect. I think that'll be okay. So here we've got a couple of things to consider. Screw hole here, this should be fine. We don't need to worry about that too much. Although it might be nice to cut it off anyway, just in case we do want to poke something all the way through. So yeah, I think we're going to cut corners. I'm going to do this one too. And then we've got what am I doing? There's no point cutting these before I put them on the bed because I'm never going to get it perfectly aligned anyway. I just need to put it on and then peel it off afterwards. I think it's going to be the best way to do it. So corners need to come off now, but the little gaps for the screws, I'm going to do those afterwards. Because they won't obviously stick to something because there's nothing there. And that's why I'm taking them off. But the corners I don't want to stick down. So I'm going to give them a little chop. Not essential, but I think that's going to be okay like that. Now let's try and get it down. Yeah, I've always done it from a corner. That was not rat rake heater. The rat rake heater was fine. It's this one. This is the Voron one that I did squiff. I've always started from a corner. Because normally I do corner, first edge, and that's normally fine. But I think I obviously just pushed it a little bit wrong and it screwed it. Let's try the edge strategy now, shall we? I think I'm going to have to take gloves off to actually do this because it's too finicky to do otherwise. Edge holes or corner holes? It's looking pretty good. That was pretty good. It's definitely gone a lot better than the base. Little bit, tiny bit squiff by like a millimetre off this corner, but other than that, absolutely fine. So that's fantastic. Let's attack these holes a little bit. A small knife to cut should do the job. Yeah, I've got RTV for doing that. Doesn't need to be super beautiful. It's going to be covered 99% of the time. Why is this not going quite as I want it to? Good evening, good morning, hello. There we go, that's a bit tidier. Let's try closer up on this one. Oh, that's just my arm. That's it. Okie dokie. I don't know if I can check Discord from here. So, oh, wrong way around, but that'll go there. Solid. Good magnets. There are so many cheap magnets around, it's unbelievable. It doesn't just fall off as soon as you look at it. See if I can find this Voron build showcase thing. Voron build showcase. LEDs. Ah, well, it is. Have you got some close-up images so I can see a bit more? Oh, one thing I did notice. No, it's Filafarm stuff. I don't know where they're sourcing their pieces from, but this is Filafarm, hence the sponsor. They do blooming fantastic beds, Filafarm, and have been doing for years. Absolutely cracking. So that's, take that back off. Still obviously need to do the actual print surfaces, like the, it's not PEI, but that surfacey bit. But we'll do that later, because obviously we can do that onto the flex plate without it being in the printer. Whereas this lot needs to get installed. It's just chuck away, well, just tidy away, I mean, all this gubbins. And have a look at how we can fit this lot into the printer. So, it's incredible, isn't it, how long ago I gave up on the instructions. Oh dear. So, oh, we still need to do the silicone stuff, don't we? Haven't done that. I do also need to decide on how I'm going to wire the old Hugema flip, the fusey boy. I might do this after or between streams because it's going to be all liquidy and mushy if I do it right now. So maybe, because they'll remind me, we'll do it right at the end of the stream. You don't have to remind me, hopefully I'll remember. Did the bed come with a kit or was that purchased separately and put together? Sorry, new to the stream. So if you want to know in general, not specifically this response, where I got my parts and what they're from and how much I paid, etc. There's a Google Sheets link in the description. It also gives you a bit of a recommendation of whether I recommend the parts or not, depending on if I've used them during the build process yet. This particular piece, I'll answer, was from Filafarm. This is not part of a kit, but they do have parts now on their website specifically for Voron 2.4. So top quality beds, top notch supplier, 100% recommend. They are a sponsor, so they are paying me to do this, but I've used them for years. I've paid for them multiple times. Can recommend. Excuse me, can recommend. So let's have a look at how this goes in. So I think we slot onto this one at the back and then to these two at the front as well, all right? Like a glove. I'd really much rather some bigger screws for mounting a bed, but there you go. So I don't know really where it's going to be needed position-wise. Worst case scenario is very far forward. So I'm going to put it very far forwards at the moment so that the wires are as long as they could need to be. And if I ended up need to move it back, then I can do that. So that should be in now. That's not going to go anywhere. Good. You have to at vector space 3D, by the way. What upgrades do you have planned for RatReg? A lot. Not going to talk about that now. We'll do that another time. Sorry. Isn't it almost touching the Z probe? Well, yeah, but I don't know if the Z probe's in the right position. The Z probe is probably not in the right position. So, in fact, that's a good point. I've just wired up my Z probe in a location where I don't know if it's even in the right place. Hopefully I've got just enough wire space. Oh shit, now I can't get it back. Darn it! Is that going to be... Oh, I can't reach with that. No! It's fine, that's just there for now. Let's have a look at this wiring. Is this okay to put on the back? Yeah, there's nothing sticking out, is there? Down. Don't think it's crunching on anything. Should be okay. So we've got to be wary of thermal fuse because this has to go in line with this cable. Just checking I've mentioned, I was checking the comments. Description. Not description. Can't talk today. It's one of those days. Not had a glass of wine, that's what it is. Just trying to think whether I want this like in the middle of the bed and have this wire go to there and then back out, or what. What I do need to do is remove most of this sleeve, I know that. Which is very, very long. It's probably a better way to do this, isn't that? I do that. Hopefully didn't cut a cable. That would be a fucking disaster. Oh yeah, the nozzle's got to be able to touch the... it's not so easy to move the gantry up and down squarely, so I'm not going to do that in a moment. So that's going into these here. Maybe we could Wago this. Waggle, wiggle, waggle. I might actually get the cable to come all the way out here and then back out here. It sounds daft, I know, but it's like the lowest risk way to do it and not balls it up. I didn't cut enough of this sleeve off either. I don't need anything like this amount. So if we were wiring the bed in, oh, we're going to SSR, aren't we? Oh, no we're not. Where's those going? It's this, isn't it? This is what's wrong. So this was bed connector. Do we still want to use this bed connector? Feels kind of pointless now that it's in the wrong place. I'm going to remove it. So take this out here, this out here, and this off of here. What we're going to have instead is live coming through here, back out to there, through to here. I'm gonna, do I want to take it? The thing is, I don't want to cut the cables really short on this end. There's literally an inch between the bed and coming through this hole, maybe an inch and a half or something. So I don't want to cut that really, really short because it's very easy to make mistakes. And if this blows and I need to end up like re-crimping and stuff like that, if, I don't know, for whatever reason, the last thing I need is to have the wires so short that I then just can't use the bed again. So I want to keep the wires longer than I would like need them, just in case. I'm still going to make this shorter. what we can do is one of these, well, we know we've got thermistor wires, so these can definitely, I mean, those almost want to go completely separate direction to this. Seat-proof sleeving is maximum in the way. So these are going to go back of here. What's the chance that we can get those through? 0. No, they just come out the side. Ooh, we've managed it. That's a nice surprise. So, bed thermistor this is. That's going to come out up over here, and we can crimp that into a little connectory thing. I mean, this alone is going to stop your bed being quick removable, so I'm not sure what that plan was all about. Bit of extra length just for safety. Leave the bed cables long and cheese it now, make it better later. Yes, exactly. You're really getting this now. Is it annoying that I do that? Thing is, the reason I do it is I think if I was watching somebody else's stream, I want them to just kind of get on with it as much as possible rather than doolalleying with making things super perfect. Because it would take like a few extra streams to make everything super perfect. I just feel like it's not really, it's not helping anyone, you know? Oh, come on. This is JST XH again. Easy peasy. Getting reasonably good at crimping these now, so hopefully won't make a mistake. Although, now I've said that, this is the exact moment that I do. Just make a loop and stash it somewhere like with a cable tie. Yeah, that's what I was kind of planning. Oops, a daisy. Oh, come on. Fumbling fingers. This is a downside of JST XH. They are quite small. Very small. And I don't even have particularly large hands. This way. There we go. 1 and 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Come on. These cables are really stiff. That's going to go in this one, isn't it? That is the first one. Oh, you can't see at this angle now. Soz. You can see in the little camera, little view. Gone in here, silver cable. Tidy, tidy, tidy. So, this is tres difficile. That's quite a long length just to get to there. If I was going directly, I'd probably want to go a different way actually. Go up round these instead. Keep all that live stuff together. So that would be direct, and I'd have that much left over. Why is this playing with my mind so much? Tell you what, seeing as this is definitely going straight to blue, which is not live, brown is live, so that can go straight there. We don't need to fuse that, SSR that, or anything. That's going to go straight there. And this will give us a bit of extra of the same wire that we can play with to get everything else right. I think this is not going to work with crimptail because reasons. Oh, I do want to set this down. Yep. Cable braid there to protect the cable, protects the cable. Who'd have thought? The 3D printing professor is here. Good evening. I feel like Voron isn't about having a functional 3D printer, but it's about having a project. Yeah, I mean, different things to different people, I guess, but probably a bit of both. Obviously, people that just want to print probably don't want to spend hours building it, but I like to do kind of both, so I guess there's probably a lot of people like that too. This is too long. That's that. What the hell is this? Oh, that's the power cables. What are we looking like next? So this piece. This we can pretend is coming from the other thing. I want to put the fuse maybe here. So the connectors are going to sit out the back. Sorry, it's going to be about there. Let's turn it around. So, fuse somewhere around this height, but near the middle. So our connectors for that are going to come at the end. I'm probably going to use some bullet connectors, although given it's going to be silicon to the bed, probably don't need to. Do you still have your first 3D printer? No. Long way. That was a long time ago. That disappeared like 4 years ago. I didn't keep my first 3D printer for that. Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, a little while, not that long. I think I just need to cut something because otherwise I'm never going to actually make any progress. Right. You are going to get cut there. That's going to go up here. And then we're going to take this and bring it back out here. I've done it. cut it super short. So that's actually going to be going that way, up to that, and then coming back through here will be the other end of the fuse, and that's what's going to go up to here. Wunderbar. Somebody comments. The other thing we need is earth, isn't it? This is important. Let's do this. Which end did I just? This one, I think. My camera angles are just the worst today. I do sincerely apologise. Let's go back to this. I think this is like a covers everything sort of angle. Where's my tool here? So that's going around here, onto here. Where did the top of this go? It's still on the end of the screwdriver. That's going out here, down here, through here, over here, out here, through that hole. And that's somebody else's problem. No, it's not. That's a problem for the next part. So we need to make sure we get this bed earth in as well. I'm just going to use that whole cable length available. I do have an extra cable length here, and I'll probably use that if I feel like I need to do the frame. Because the bed is directly connected via metal parts to the frame though, we should still be able to get a earth all the way around. Even though stuff's coated, quite often it will still conduct through it, because when you tighten it down it kind of breaks that coating. That's certainly what it was like on the rat rig. Just earthed it at the back. I tested everything else and everything was still earthed, so should still be good. Right. Okay, nothing tagged for me, so I'm assuming there's no questions. What are we at? An hour and a half already. I don't have any water today. I forgot to get water. It's always really nerve-wracking because this sleeving is really strong. You feel like you're cutting through a cable when you cut it. So just have to double, triple, double check that you're not when cutting. Right, let's flip this up and see if we can do all this bed stuff from the top. Probably not. Oh, that is heavy. Right. So we should have two ends sticking up. That's good. So the fuse is going on the end of those. Happy days. One's significantly longer than the other. I might cut that down. And then the earth is going to go onto the screw terminal in this corner over here. So that's going to need to be yay long. Something like that. Maybe a touch longer. Use the same, these. So I think my corner there is tapped for M5. So 5x10 screw. I kind of want a washer as well. Where's my M5 washers? I don't think this build actually demanded M5 washers, did it? They used shims. I've got a washer here. This just makes sure everything's nice and tight. It's going to be from the bottom, just checking the thread. Yeah, that's good. And that's also going to fit through there nicely. Very good. That should make a fantastic connection. So let's get this wired on. Bish bash bosh. That's earth. Oh, how's that come out so long? That's right, I'll just poke it back down the hole. There you go. That'll go in there. In fact, can we do it from the underside? Is it? The camera's literally just at the angle where you can't quite see it. Ground, that's what I'm doing. Can't you see? That's right to the top. So M5x8 is probably a little bit better, but this should be fine. I'll tighten it down when I do the thermal fuse. So for the thermal fuse, I think we're going to... this is the one that's directly attached here. So it's literally going down the hole and straight back up. Whatever, we'll leave it like that. This one definitely can be shorter though, somewhere around that. The next question is, what connectors are we going to use? and it's right behind the cable chain. Of course it is. So as I said, that's going to go somewhere there. So that's why these connectors are going to connect on the back. Our connector options are twofold, I think. One could be a bullet connector, which is a detachable connector. You have a male and female part, and they just push together really firmly. And you can actually push it so that it actually covers up the gap as well, I think, right? Let's actually do it. Yeah, that goes right in there. So that's a pretty safe connector. Should be plenty of current. I mean, the thing is, the current's actually really low for the bed if you think about it. It's 230 volts, 600 watts, so it's only 2 amps. The current is really low. So I think we're going to go bullet connectors. That way we're in the safest possible position. A bullet for earth connector. No, my bed's never going to be coming out apart from as I do the what's it today. Once it's in, it's in. I mean, for maintenance, etc., but not for every time I want to rotate the printer, like it seems to be suggested. I'm not seeing that as a suggestion, but it just seems like everyone wants a quick disconnect bed for some reason. So this is going on to here. Not easy. There's not much room. Why hasn't it come off? That's one bullet connector, and we need another bullet connector. Do the bullets on the back of here. Hello from Germany. I mean, hello from the UK to Germany. Lovely, lovely jubbly. You did turn up at the right time, just in time for me to finish the bed installation. And also just in time for a quick sponsor segment. This live stream would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filafarm and Big Tree Tech. Filafarm are a 3D printing bed specialist based in Germany. Filaprint is their high-performance, durable print surface designed to grip parts tightly when hot, but release them when cold. Their switch system utilises a strong magnetic sticker and 0.6mm spring steel to allow for easy swapping of bed surfaces. The bed plates offered are made from cast aluminium plate and are extremely flat, helping you get the best adhesion across the whole first layer. All of this can be made to standard sizes or customised upon request. Keep on watching to find out more, or follow the links in the video description. The Big Tree Tech Octopus is a 32-bit control board with loads of connectivity options for performance 3D printers like the Voron 2.4 and Raprig VCore 3. It can connect up to 8 stepper drivers, 8 fans, 6 end stops, 5 thermistors, 4 heaters plus BL Touch, RGB LEDs, a TFT screen, USB-C and more. Pairing the Octopus with TMC 2209 stepper motor drivers allows for quiet operation using Stealth Chop, performance using Spread Cycle, and Stool Guard for sensorless homing. Big Tree Tech also offer a mini 12864 display, which is ideal for the Voron 2.4 design. Check the links in the description to find out more. Righty-ho then. So, what else can we do today? I feel like we're sort of done. No, not like done. There's still plenty of printer to do. Got to do all the panels, enclosures, setup, firmware, and all this kind of stuff. What I mean is, am I done for wiring? Is all the wiring installed? Obviously, these two need connecting, but I want to make sure that this is the last thing I do today, because it's going to be a mushy mess. Or I can just move it off to the side, I suppose. So maybe we'll do that now. Can anybody think of wiring that I've missed? Oh, goodness me. So the bed ones is 2 white cables. I think we need to remove in order to remove the bed. One there. And this is quite an annoying connector to remove, isn't it? But not the end of the world. And this will go here. And of course they're always going to remain looking different, so that should be fine. And the bed thermistor is the other one that's got to come out. This is less ideal, isn't it, now that I've tucked that behind the power supply, because connector doesn't fit back through. Back up. Which way is this one? So that, oh, and earth too, that's another connection. So you've got live, neutral, earth, thermistor. That's all the bed stuff, so that can now be removed. I plan on installing my Filafarm bed on a CR10S. But it hit me the other day that it's quite thick and heavy, and I wonder how bad that will be for y-axis movement. Yeah, probably not. I mean, I've used their thick beds on a bed slinger before, but only on like really heavy duty frames. Probably, if you don't have any other printer to put it on, but you've bought it already, then go for it. But you'll have to reduce acceleration and stuff because your motors probably won't be able to handle it. And your belts probably won't either. If you have other options, I'd probably go with a different option, personally. If you're having to deal with a warped bed, then maybe it's a nice option. You can keep the speeds generally the same, but you will have to reduce acceleration, I suspect. And you might see increased ringing, etc. as a result. Okie dokie. So we can connect this up to here now and make sure it's nice and secure. Wrench that down a bit, and then it's just this. So something there. I'm going to RTV it straight on here. Now, I don't know how easy it's going to be to clean this. Don't know if I can, so hopefully the RTV will stick to it fine. If not, then when it's cured I'll sort out a different solution. Ah yes, I've done the 5 volts to pi, but you're absolutely right about skirt and screen. Screens and skirts. Skirts is what's going to be next then. 100% skirts. Do I need this nozzly doodah? Oh, it is red as well. Oh, it stinks. Of course it does. And it's just going to just ooze out. So somewhere here. Central-ish. Should have got gloves on really for doing this. Not too late. If you have enough wire, you can attach the fuse to the other corner. Yeah, I'd rather RTV it. That's the plan. I've not actually threaded the other corner, so not going to be very easy to do that. But yes, I know that's what they were originally there for. Oh, this really stinks, that stuff. So I just want to press this down with the connectors coming out the back here. How did I manage to get that position so wrong? Let's just squeegee it over here. I was miles off. What I really want is like a print that I've thrown away that I can use as a little spatula. This is petite, but it'll work, I think. Right, okay. That's made a stanky mess, as we expected. I do want to kind of remove it from the top so I can read the label. Right. Can you use Kapton tape to mount it? I wouldn't. You really need the thermal fuse to be super secure and never going to come off, because it's your last resort safety measure. So now being careful with the cables and not to nudge that, I need to go and put this somewhere where it's not going to get disturbed. Okay, good, good, good. That's yet another problem tackled. Well, it's not a problem, it's a step. Skirts. Skirts and screens. Do I want to do enclosure before or after skirts and screens? I reckon we'll skirts now because there's a bit of wiring in skirts. Oh, must say, not a huge fan of this M4 knurled nut and M3 screw that's barely the right length design. So, skirts. Now we did most of the skirts already, so this should be really quick and a really good visual upgrade to what we have. And fingers crossed, the way I've got my display, cables will be long enough to go straight to the main board without having to make any different ones. That would be super duper convenient. Bit of a stroke of luck because I didn't plan that, but it would be good if it did. Forgotten what screws we need. I'm going to guess M3 by 8s and M5s. M5 by 10, 8. What would it be? Oh, probably by 10, I guess. I don't know why I've kept all this stuff on the... Let's have a bit of a tidy up before we do these skirts. Don't you just the overall design construction so far? Are you more impressed with the rat rig or this Voron? It's really difficult to say because A, you never really know how good a construction is until you print with it, and I've not printed anything yet, evidently. I think the Voron build was a little, the rat rig build was a little bit easier, a bit simpler. But as I say, difficult to say anything really very conclusive without having tested things. There are parts of this build that have been less enjoyable, so the rat rig one was definitely a little bit easier, a little bit more fun, maybe not the right word. Right, so this is the fan side. What's our cameras doing? Let's get those. Trouble is, as soon as I give my impression, lots of people are going to repeat it and go, Adam says this or Vector 3D says that. And I'm just like, I'm not ready to deal with that yet. 3mm. So we've got 2 more fans here, and the cables are going to be perfectly the right length. Let's deal with that first. I'm not sure how these are addressed in the wiring diagram actually. Exhaust fan, controller fan, hot end fan. So we could, exhaust is presumably filter, controller fan is the ones that are going to be for this enclosure segment. So that's probably what we want to wire them up to. We could try and jam two connectors in a single thing. I think I'm going to just wire one to one and wire one to another one, and we'll deal with it in firmware. That's a tomorrow problem, that is. That's a genuine tomorrow problem, not just me avoiding doing it. You need good visibility inside the printer during the configuration to find out Z Endstop coordinates, etc. So better leave the panels off at this point. Seems reasonable. So you reckon next stream should be firmware setup and kind of refining all the things? Is that what you're saying? So we'll do belt tension, sorting out any racking. Oh, let's make a list, shall we? I love a good list. Belt tension, racking, Z stop position, what other things do we need to deal with? Love how Voron's look and seems like a huge active community behind it. There's definitely a big community behind Voron. There's a pretty big one behind RatRig there as well now. That's growing very quickly. RatRig doesn't require as much support because there's not as much, I don't know how you say, it's less complex. There's not as many configurations, although it's still very configurable, to be fair. A lot of people seem to have gone with very similar configs, so. Negative is that side, so negative needs to go here. Oh, wrong way around. Check the order of the plus and minus on the Big Tree Tech board is different. Well, I know all the ones here are negative because the harness is designed for this board. And those are the negative pins, so that should be fine. It's funny you say that about validating their decision. Pretty sure 90% of is that gone? Yeah, that's not right. 90% of views on review videos is probably from people who already own it and want to make sure that they made the right decision. I'm not saying that's true. It just, I've heard it said before. And there's something delightfully human about it, isn't there? Okie dokie, so that's 2 fans for there. Now we can assemble this. Oh, that's not going to stay on there now. Ah, why does this sat in here a minute ago? There we go. So, what connector were we looking at for this? Lost it. Lost my diagram. Print cooling, hot end, controller is number 3. Excellent. So that one goes in here. Now the 4th one is already got a intended connector. That's going to be for the exhaust, so we're going to put this in with a gap. Oh, that's just wonderful how that's turned out, isn't it? Perfect length wires already built in. What more could you ask for? Now I've got these to do up here. Oh, we've got top-down view as well. Can't see much on that though. So all the nuts for this should already be in position because I got them all in the right place before doing the electronics. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but it seems to have been quite a good idea. Oh, although this one doesn't align. Oh, there's not even a thing there. What? It's moved miles. Must have been nudged. Oh. My worst nightmare. Rats. Every time I take this power supply off, I'm terrified I'm going to trap a cable and damage it. So it should be 2 and 3/8 for this. That should drop right down in there. So cables for this, the ones that come included are quite short. Although, to be honest, it looks like you'd be good pretty much wherever you put it, but I've got mine right up here. So don't know which one's expansion 1 and which one's expansion 2 because I can't see because there's a cover on it. Well, that's kind of annoying. Anyone know? Oh dear. I think generally it won't fail if I get it wrong. It'll just not work. So we'll plug them in, and when we power it on for the first time on the next stream, hopefully, we'll see if it works or not. If not, we can just flip them round. It would be super awesome if you did a conclusion themed video covering your experience of building both printers and their print quality. I might end up having a complete series and address individual things in individual videos. I think people are going to have so many questions. Every single stream there's people asking questions of Voron versus rat rake. And I don't know if I can address all of that in one video while still being at least mildly concise. So the best option might be to have multiple videos. As much as I don't want to make multiple videos about a similar topic, might be the best thing to do, and then we can just address like one thing in a video. So like go for one video for print quality, one for build process, one for sourcing, one for, you know, all those kinds of things. And then I can go a little bit more in depth, because it's obviously quite a big purchase decision to get one of these printers. So I think generally people want the most information possible. This is miles off for some reason. Are the not the back to go either side of the plug? I'm not sure as built. Okay. You said ignore you, so I am. I think X2 is in the center of the display and XT1 on the outside. 2 in center, 1 on the outside. 1 on the outside. Right, let's switch around then, if that's what you reckon. I mean, I could just check a wiring diagram online. I'm not going to try Googling stuff in the middle of a stream unless I absolutely have to. This is looking a total mess, but pretty sweet at the same time. Yeah, I think what somebody said a little while back about Voron's just looking good, and it's absolutely true. Half the time selling something is just trying to make it look good. Obviously the evidence that it prints well as well definitely helps, but have something that just looks sweet is just nice. Pleases the kid in all of us. I missed that that's what she said. What did I say? So what was that there? The biggest variable with Vorons seems to be already the sourced parts. As someone who built a Voron, I can see that the rat rig is easier to build. That's just one consideration. There's a lot of factors that go into which one someone will build. There is always a lot of factors. Even location can be a deal, like shipping and all this kind of stuff. Shipping and taxes and tariffs and so many reasons. Okay, dokie, boys and girls. I think we are ready to go. These two I'm leaving up because that's where the bed's going to plug back in. Thermistor's going to go back in. Motors are all in. Hot end heater, fans, thermistors, end stops. Power, SSR, Raspberry Pi power. Ah, we need the cable. This is a problem. See how much this is drooping? It's just crushing the Raspberry Pi. I'm going to get the Trident clips. That's another thing. Because the Trident ones is what I've used for the control board. Fits really well. This is just so sloppy. Here it is. So this one we got 90-degree cable, so that's going into the Octopus, like so. This is going to come down here. We could go into a USB 3 port. I don't think it's going to make any sorting difference. So we're going to USB 2 one because it's a nicer length. And that just gets crushed. 1.8 to be a bit easier to build than 2.4 from what people say. Yeah, 1.8 is obviously now Trident, but 1.8/Trident, definitely similar to rat rig as well. More similar. So, is there anything I've missed other than obviously knowing the bed? I think everything else is raring to go. It's quite exciting, isn't it? We're not powering it on today. That's going to be the beginning of the next stream. So we can put a wicked title that says first power up or something. It's not terribly exciting, is it? But you know, like it's exciting as things go. So, drivers, of course. Thank you. Well spotted. It's just about to end it there. Need some drivers. So, we've got 10 drivers, which obviously we don't need. All from Big Tree Tech, of course, sponsoring the video. Thank you very much. Heatsinks all jammed together. There we go. So to my knowledge, we don't need any of this extra wiring gubbins. That's for, I think, all the control boards that don't support things like UART, etc. Oh, why is that one a weird, gunky? Don't know. Maybe we'll avoid that one for now. So let's get these. Data to Pi, just did Data to Pi, that was the cable I just put in. Thank you for the suggestion though. Do need to make sure I've got everything. There we go. No, no first print today. We won't be printing for a little while yet. What I can say is at this point I'm about 90% confident we'll be powering it on next time. Today we'll finish getting everything wired in so that next time we have time to turn it on, check out what's working and what isn't, fix those problems, hopefully get everything kind of moving, and then at the point when we're ready to print, we're going to stop. So when we're ready to print, that's when I'll get the enclosure on, so we have the enclosure ready for the first print, because the first print video is always the most popular by a long way. So I want to make sure the build is in its final configuration. Did you put a Revo on this guy? I don't have a Revo, I'm afraid. I wish I did, but I don't. What am I looking for? That little Bigtree Tech guide. It looks like I've got the pins in the wrong place. No, that's fine. Okay. Oh, don't forget to like the stream, by the way, if you haven't already, especially if you've been here all the time. It's probably appropriate, right? Or get subscribed. That's another cool thing. Fun fact, today we surpassed 2,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. Amazing. Amazing. Mostly thanks to the the heat press rig for threaded inserts. The internet loves that thing. I can't find, this is what I was going to look up, the orientation for the stepper drivers. Okay, now I can see. So the potentiometer goes, oh I did, come on. Yes, closest to the edge of the board. So this little, oh, let's point it in the right direction, hey? So this is the potentiometer down here, the little like screwdriver thing, and that's going closest to where all the motors are plugged in. So we can point them in that direction. Don't think we have to cut any of the pins. So we should just be able to push these in. I've just noticed they're also red, black color coded, so that helps you know which way to put your stepper drivers in. I'm assuming that's those three, that matches that one, so we just continue going, don't we? E3D don't have, well, I don't know. They've said they'll send me one. I just don't know when. The thing is, I'm just, they want to send them to the biggest reviewers, I guess. got a bent pin. Oh. Oh, this is bent pins. Okay, okay. This is kind of annoying. There we go. Right, 7 motors, 8th one not required. Although, being the Octopus, obviously you can use 8, hence the Octopus name. And I'm sure other reasons, but mostly I think because there's 8 stepper drivers. Be good to get that cable out the way, but I don't think it's going to get any better. That will do. Everyone to Twitter to Voron 3D. Thank you for the compliment on the TCT coverage. You still got plenty more videos to come. 2 are scheduled already for TCT. Obviously not E3D ones this time. And then I've got 1 more to make of kind of a best of the rest sort of thing. So still plenty of TCT stuff to go. Please, if you're gonna, I don't want to say don't, because it's like, don't be nasty about it. In jest, if you're going to do it. They were very kind to sponsor me, so don't be a pain in the ass. Definitely don't tell them I sent you. You can do it on your own back, but not off mine. Right. John, you might want to go check that video again for a comment that's on there. So everyone, thank you very much for sticking around for today's live stream. Hopefully that was useful. Fingers crossed, we've got everything sorted now, ready to get everything up and running. Should be just power on and everything will just work. So that's what we're going to be doing next time. Hopefully this has been useful for anyone looking to kind of follow along and build as they watch sort of thing. I've probably shown you a bunch of things that you can do as well as things that you shouldn't do. So a bit of some and some, but yeah, hopefully been a learning experience. And I think that's going to be it for me today. Right. Good evening, everyone, or good morning, or good day, or goodbye, however it is. I shall see you in the next stream where we power this thing on for the first time. It's going to be exciting. Goodbye. That'll be Sunday, by the way. Sunday, 7 p.m. See you there.